So they are here preparing for themselves. They want to show us how to do, how to work on them.
And I think they use a lot of gas.
They use a lot of gas, yeah?
Thank you for joining us here today. According to Museum of Glass, welcome to our Hot Glass Show here in the amphitheater. Michael will be our glass speaker for this demonstration, and helping out Michael is Declan. Let's give these two a big round of applause. Thank you. I'm Katie. I'll narrate this process for you, so if you have any questions, just let me know. But here we go. So the first thing we do is gather glass out of our oven, which is at 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, glass moves like honey and it glows. So if Michael stops turning the iron, the glass will fall onto the floor. So we'll keep it turning the whole time. And then it's clear glass, but it glows orange while it's hot. We just cover this clear glass in little granules of crushed up glass color called frit. The frit sticks onto the surface and it melts in it. And then look, it's orange again. The color is chosen is green. So no matter what color it is, when it's above 2,000 degrees especially, it will glow. But the whole time that it stays hot, we'll never let this glass get below about 900 degrees Fahrenheit while we're working with it. But the entire time, it will look a different color because it's hot. So we add on 2 layers of that frit, and then we melt the frit in each time we add that layer on. We can do this over and over again and really saturate the glass with color, but 2 layers is going to be fine. This is our reheating chamber. This is 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit, same temperature as our melting furnace, but that one's empty. And we'll just reheat the glass inside that furnace there. It's going to start to sinter and cool the material with a wood scoop tool called a block. This is what we call our starter bubble. It's the very beginning of our process. It's also the just first layer. We're going to have more layers. So we center it. We put a bubble into it. Watch closely. You see the larger? There's air inside there. So we put a nice even bubble into it. We can blow this out or maybe make an ornament, something small. Make it still into a functional piece of glass, but it would be a smaller scale. So instead, we'll let this glass cool and gather over it so we can make something larger scale. The more material you have, the larger a piece you can make, or the thicker a piece you can make if you don't want to blow it out too much. We need more material sometimes. Alright, we're going to let this glass cool. The glass will harden at 1,000 degrees. It stops moving at that temperature. Once we get to that temperature, we'll go in and gather another layer. We can't get all the glass we need for this piece that we want to make by gathering once, because of the viscosity of the material. So if you look on the screen, I'll show you an animation of the gathering process. So inside the furnace is a big ceramic bowl called a crucible. We'll just put that glass we have on the pipe now down beneath the level like that, turning one direction. Gather that same. So that'll give us enough material to make the piece that we want to make. For this piece, we'll get more, but we won't make any for this machine. You can see the viscosity there in the play. Alright, so that'll be plenty. We'll bring it back to the workbench. We'll start to cool and shake the glass with a wick scoop tool, same like before, same tool as before, but a little larger. So the larger the glass is, the larger the tool will be for this one. This is just cherry wood. It sits in a bucket behind the gaffer's workbench right there. That's what Michael is, the gaffer. The gaffer is the one in charge of the creator of the glass vessel or sculpture. And so, yeah, we will center and cool the glass with cherry wood. Put some soap in the water. And then this tool here, which is a pan of folded up white newspaper, that also was soaked in water for a little bit. We add water to it as we go. We can contour the glass with all of our hands. Holding the glass down towards the ground will elongate the material. You'll see Michael do that every once in a while, just to get some more height for this. And when we need more heat, we'll go into our reheating chamber again. So back into that furnace one more time. Actually, a lot. We're going to do that a lot. But for this time, I'm going to go back into that furnace then. I'll shape it up a little bit more. Declan is going to assist Michael. And so there's a lot of glass there's a lot of teamwork being involved in glass making, so they're a really great help. So are all of our members of our team. We have to learn to be an assistant to be a good glass maker, so we all assist each other. It's because it requires assistance, it requires teamwork. So we'll start to create a neck. We'll create a constriction line in the middle of the bubble, and then he pulls that away from the pipe, and that elongates the neck. So we actually work down the piece. We kind of go backwards at first. He pulls that way out, and then near the pipe, we'll make a constriction line that'll help us break the bubble off the blowpipe. That small constriction line is in there, it has to be there for every single piece that's ever made, because every piece has to come off of the pipe. So make sure that that's there. And using the newspaper again, centering that. He's got a hose connection to the mouthpiece, and I'll send air into the glass as he steps on the foot pedal. And so that uses a little bit of automation. We're using air compression for that. It's way down to 1 psi, so not a whole lot of air pressure is required to blow glass. Glass is malleable. If you stop turning the pipe, it falls on the floor. So imagine inflating something that's that gooey. It's really influenced by it easily. So back to the reheating chamber to heat at the bottom. That's really the only part that's going to move now. You can sometimes tell in the glass by looking at the color what part is hotter than the other. And you can see that the bottom is flowing more than the rest of it. So it's going to give off that look. Alright. Now this is a green, remember that? But it's going to kind of look a little orange, like a gold coming on top. And then Michael asks for a bit. A bit is a bit of glass that we apply to the glass. So this could be a stem to make a nice stiff foot set, or just the foot. We'll see what happens. We definitely will gather the right particular amount of glass that's needed for this. So bring it over and Michael will attach it to the bottom piece. Hot glass sticks to hot glass really easily. It also fuses together on that hot of the connection. The hotter the glass connection is, the more it fuses. So the colder it is, the weaker the connection will be. Create a kind of like a nice 45-degree angle to the form. So the side part will be flattened into the bottom. Okay, the bottom is finished as far as we're on the top. And so we're going to attach a punch to the bottom of the piece. The punch is what that's going to start to create, which is just a little bit of glass on the end of an iron. They're going to cool it, shape, bring it over to Michael, who will attach it to the center of the bottom of the foot. So again, this connection, we need it to be cooler so it's released easily when the piece is finished, a colder connection than I mentioned. So we did that on purpose. At any point, the glass gets too cold, it will crack and it will break. So watch this, it's a little video. This is us talking about the annealing. So if we take this piece off the punting and we just put it down unevenly at room temperature. So instead, to get something down room temperature, we have to put it into the annealing oven, which is just once it's totally at room temperature, it's fully functional. You can put flowers in it. It works out well. Watch this with lots of heat. See the heat in that vessel. We're going to pull and remove some of that glass. Using pair of shears, he goes in, he cuts that glass around like that. We got a high side and a low side. That is called a pitcher cut. So we don't have a spout for our pitcher. Nice and down. High side and low side. We're back together. We can't stay out there for too long. So everything has to be annealed, even the glass that is being manufactured or industrially, so industrial setting, so windows, jars, bottles, things like that. 95% of the glass in our world, by the way, is made by machines. These days, this is how things used to be made, how everything used to be made. Even windows and things, larger pieces of glass, just different methods. But these days, most glass is made in a machine or with any kind of a factory setting. It's because there's more demand for it. There's it's kind of an easier thing to create in those settings. But of course, all those things can still be done handmade too. Then I'm going to make a wrap for Michael. So they've got a really gloss on the end of the iron. They're cooling and shaping, and then when they bring it to Michael, he'll attach it and then create the design he has in mind. So he does. Lots of timing again. Michael's there ready and definitely needs to get more heat. So we went to the oven for a second and now we got. That's a special demonstration today happening at 3:30. It's a part of our Bring the Heat series that we're here at the Corning Museum class. And they get to make a piece that will then go into the shops for sale. And today it's Michael at 3:30. So he's got a really fun piece in mind. So this is something that we're going to do from 3:30 to about 4:30. We're live streaming it, which means it'll be watched. You can watch it on YouTube, on Instagram too, we're doing Instagram live feed, and then also Facebook. So those 3 social media platforms. And yeah, it's featuring Michael. So stay tuned. Come back with us at 3:30 and watch him make a really fun vessel. We'll keep it a surprise until later. And if you're not taking any questions right now, all right. So we're going to finish the top half. We're going to get this into the shape that it needs to be in. Because once we add the handle, you can't shape it again. It has to, again, reheat it, reshape it. So the handle is the last thing that gets added to this. So definitely brings the glass over to the table. We're going to pull the shape on the table, and then bring it over to Michael, who will apply the handle. We want to make sure that the handle pulls off of the iron nicely, and we get a really nice proportionate handle. Cooler, we should have some tricks that will help. And then we can apply it. Back into the furnace. All of this equipment down here is run with natural gas. We also use some electricity for our kilns and things. It's a really common fuel source. All right, here we go. This handle will be applied across with the spout. That's a good kind of rule of thumb. They'll apply that onto the side, and then they'll cut that where he wants it to stop. And once that happens, they'll flip it down because it's very, very hot. If he left it up, that piece says what we're going to do is eventually catch the very tip of it with master glass skills. Then we'll apply it to the side of the piece. What do you think of that?
Oh,
Because we messed it up. Different lines. So these things are all things that we've all kind of gone through. This one right here is 960 degrees. That's our yield on it. We put everything. You see that?